At this very moment, there's a message waiting for you. Not just any old message, mind you, but one that could completely transform your life. Let me tell you about something that happened with one of our students, which perfectly illustrates what I mean. This woman, Sarah, had been practicing our methods for about 6 months when something extraordinary occurred. She'd been stuck in a job she hated for 8 years, constantly thinking about making a change, but never actually doing anything about it. One morning, after meditating, focusing on becoming nobody, going nowhere, she checked her phone and found a message from someone she hadn't spoken to in over a decade. Out of the blue, this person thought of her and offered an opportunity that perfectly aligned with Sarah's passions. Now, most people would call that a coincidence. But what if I told you it wasn't random at all? You see, when Sarah changed, her energy, when she stopped being the same person thinking the same thoughts and feeling the same emotions every day, she opened a door in the quantum field. She became available to information she couldn't access before. That's what quantum synchronicity looks like in action. It's not magic, it's science. When you step out of your past personality and into the unknown field of infinite possibilities, that's when things start to shift. Think about it. How many signs, messages, and opportunities have passed you by simply because you were too caught up in your routine, your familiar emotions to notice them? The universe is constantly sending us signals, but often we're too busy surviving to receive them. We're so focused on being the same person we were yesterday that we miss becoming the person we could be tomorrow. Now consider your daily life. When you learn how to become receptive to these signals, when you tune your energy to the frequency of possibility rather than probability, that's when the magic starts to happen. That's when you stop living as a victim of your past and begin to create your future. And here's the best bit. This isn't just theory. We can measure it, quantify it, and most importantly, we can teach you how to master it. Let's be real. We don't live in a vacuum. Sarah's story isn't unique. Every day, at our workshops around the globe, we witness people receiving exactly what they need at precisely the right time. But here's what you need to understand. These messages, these opportunities, they don't come when you're desperate, when you're stuck in your analytical mind. They come when you've prepared your emotional state, when you've cleared your energy. When you start noticing these signals, something fascinating happens. There's a filtering system in your brain called the reticular activating system, or RAS. Think of it as your brain's security guard. It decides which bits of information reach your conscious mind and which don't. Every second, you're bombarded with millions of bits of data, but your conscious mind can only process about 2,000 of those bits per second. That's why, when you buy a new car, you suddenly start seeing the same model everywhere. Those cars were always there. Your brain just wasn't paying attention to them before. But here's where it gets really interesting. Your RAS isn't just filtering random information. It's specifically looking for information that matches your beliefs, your thoughts, and most importantly, your emotional state. When you're living in fear and survival mode, guess what your brain is programmed to notice? More reasons to be afraid, more reasons to survive, more reasons to stay stuck in the same patterns. Let me share something fascinating from our research. We've done brain scans on people during our advanced workshops, and we've seen something remarkable. When someone shifts their attention from the external environment to the internal world, there's a measurable change in their brain waves. The frontal lobe, the CEO of your brain, starts working differently. Instead of processing the known and familiar, it begins creating new neural networks, literally rewiring itself to perceive new possibilities. And that brings us to quantum physics. In the quantum field, everything exists as a wave of probability until it's observed. Where you place your attention and how you direct it is literally collapsing those waves into particles, creating your physical reality. This isn't just spiritual talk. It's proven Science. The double-slit experiment in quantum physics shows us that the mere act of observing changes the behavior of particles. Think about what that means for you. Every time you break free from your habitual thinking, every time you shift your attention from problems to possibilities, you're literally changing the quantum field around you. You're opening new doors in the field of infinite possibilities. We've seen this thousands of times in our work. When someone changes where they focus, their attention, their entire reality begins to shift. The evidence is clear in our research. When people learn to sustain elevated emotions like gratitude, joy, and inspiration, their brains start operating at a higher level of order. They become more aware, more alert to opportunities, and more receptive to messages from the quantum field. Their brains literally become more efficient at recognizing patterns and making connections that were always there but previously invisible to them. Your life is constantly speaking to you through meaningful coincidences, those songs that keep playing everywhere you go, those numerical sequences you keep seeing, those names that keep popping up in conversations. These aren't random events. They're messages from the quantum field guiding you toward your highest potential. But here's the problem. Most people are missing these signals entirely. Why? Because they're trapped in what I call the chemical addiction of everyday life. They wake up every morning, check their phones, feel the same stress, think the same thoughts, follow the same routine, and go to bed feeling the same emotions. They're literally addicted to their past, to their familiar personality. And when you're addicted to being yourself, you become blind to new possibilities. Let me give you a real example from our workshops. There was a businessman who always complained about never having enough time for his family. Every time he tried to take a holiday, something would come up at work. But when we helped him shift his emotional state through our meditation techniques, something fascinating happened. Suddenly, he started noticing opportunities to delegate tasks he'd been holding onto for years. He began seeing patterns in his work schedule that he'd never recognized before. The time for family had always been there. He just couldn't see it through the lens of his stressed-out, overwhelmed emotional state. Your emotional state is like a frequency you're broadcasting to the universe. When you're operating from stress, anxiety, or fear, you're tuned into a frequency that only picks up more reasons to feel stressed, anxious, or afraid. But when you shift your emotional state to one of possibility and gratitude, you start picking up a completely different set of signals. Think of it like tuning a radio dial. When you're tuned to 101.5 FM, you can't hear what's playing on 98.7 FM. Your emotional state works the same way. When you're tuned into survival emotions, you can't pick up the frequency of opportunity and growth. That's why people can be surrounded by incredible opportunities, but never see them. They're simply not tuned to the right frequency. When you expect something to happen, your brain doesn't know the difference between expectation and actual experience. This isn't just positive thinking, it's biology in action. Every time you have a thought, your brain releases specific chemicals. These chemicals flow through your body, changing how your cells function, altering your genetic expression, and literally reshaping your physical reality. And here's what's fascinating about expectations. They create real physical pathways in your brain. It's like walking through a field of tall grass. The first time you walk a path, it's difficult. But walk that same path every day, and soon you'll have a clear trail. Your brain works exactly the same way. Every time you expect something negative, you strengthen those neural pathways. Every time you expect something positive, you create new ones. But here's where most people get stuck. They try to create new expectations while their body is still addicted to their old emotional state. Their body has become a living record of their past. If you've spent years expecting things to go wrong, your cells have become addicted to the chemistry of those negative expectations. That's why just thinking positively isn't enough. you need to change the chemistry of your entire body. That's where heart coherence becomes crucial. Your heart generates an electromagnetic field that's 5,000 times stronger than your brain's field. When you create coherence between your heart and brain through elevated emotions like gratitude, appreciation, and joy, something remarkable happens. Your body starts producing new proteins, new genes are activated, and your immune system strengthens. You literally become biologically prepared to receive what you're expecting. We've measured this in our research. When someone enters a state of heart coherence, their brain waves synchronize, their nervous system balances, and their body begins producing what we call the pleasure chemicals: serotonin, oxytocin. These aren't just chemicals that make you feel good. They're the exact chemicals your body needs to be in a receptive state for new opportunities. Let me share what we've seen in our brain scans. When someone is in this receptive state, the frontal lobe lights up, passing through your body. You can't see them, you can't feel them, but the moment you turn on your phone, you can access them. Your consciousness works the same way. In the quantum field, every possibility exists as a wave of probability. Until you observe it, until you place your attention on it. This isn't just theory. We see it in quantum experiments every day. When scientists observe particles at the quantum level, the mere act of observing changes the behavior of those particles. Your consciousness does the exact same thing in your daily life. Every time you place your attention on something, every time you hold an intention, you're literally influencing the quantum field around you. But here's where most people get stuck. They try to create their future from their past. They try to solve problems using the same level of thinking that created those problems. It's like trying to build a house by rearranging the furniture in your current home. It doesn't work because you're trying to create from matter instead of creating from the field of all possibilities. Let me share what we've seen in our advanced workshops. When someone learns to create from the quantum field, they stop trying to figure out how their dreams will manifest. Instead, they put all their energy into maintaining the frequency of their desired future. They understand that the quantum field responds to who you're being, not what you're doing. That's why meditation is so crucial. It allows you to step out of the space and time of your identity and into the field where all possibilities exist. When you're truly in that state, you're no longer creating from memory. You're creating from possibility. You're no longer trying to force reality to conform to your desires. You're simply matching your energy with the reality you want to experience. Remember Sarah from the beginning? When she received that unexpected message, she wasn't sitting there trying to figure out how to make her dreams happen. She had learned to elevate her energy, to tune into the field of infinite possibilities, and to remain in that elevated state regardless of her external circumstances. The opportunity didn't arise because she was pushing and forcing. It arose because she had matched her energy with the frequency of that possibility. Now, let me share with you the exact process for increasing your receptivity to these messages from the quantum field. Your morning practice is absolutely crucial because that's when your brain is most receptive to new programming. The moment you wake up, your brain is still in theta waves, the same state you experience in deep meditation. Instead of immediately reaching for your phone and programming your brain with stress, take advantage of this receptive state. Start with this simple but powerful morning meditation. Sit upright, close your eyes, and place your attention on your heart. Breathe slowly and deeply, slightly longer on the exhale than the inhale. As you breathe, begin to generate feelings of appreciation and gratitude. Not just thinking about what you're grateful for, but actually feeling the emotion in your body. This creates heart coherence, a measurable state where your heart and brain come into perfect synchronization. We've measured this in our research. When someone maintains heart coherence for just 6 minutes, their body begins to produce nitric oxide, which reduces stress hormones and increases feel-good chemicals. Your immune system strengthens, your intuition sharpens, and your brain becomes more efficient at recognizing opportunities. After your meditation, grab your journal. But here's the key. Don't write about your current reality. Write about your day as if your desired future has already happened. Write in the present tense, with gratitude and enthusiasm. For example, I'm so grateful now that... This isn't just positive thinking. You're literally programming your brain with new information, creating new neural networks that will help you recognize opportunities aligned with your future. Next, list the things you want in your life. What are the things that will help you recognize opportunities aligned with your future? Throughout the day, practice what I call environmental awareness. Most people go through the day on autopilot, letting their environment trigger their old thoughts and emotions. Instead, set an alarm on your phone to go off every hour. When it does, stop what you're doing and ask yourself 3 questions. What am I thinking? What am I feeling? What messages is my environment trying to show me? This hourly check-in breaks the pattern of unconscious reaction and puts you in a state of conscious creation. You'll start noticing signs and synchronicities that you were missing before. Maybe it's a conversation you overhear that gives you exactly the information you need. Maybe it's a book that falls off the shelf with the answer you've been looking for. Maybe it's an old friend reaching out with an opportunity. But here's the most important part of your practice. You must maintain your elevated emotional state regardless of your external circumstances. This is where most people fail. They do their morning meditation, feel good for an hour, and then let their environment drag them back into their old emotional patterns. Remember, the quantum field responds to who you're being, not what you're doing. That's why we teach our students to create what we call state reminders. Place sticky notes around your house and office with words or symbols that remind you of your future self. Create a playlist of songs that match the energy of your desired future. Set random alarms with inspiring messages. These aren't just motivational tricks. They're pattern interrupters that help you maintain your connection to the quantum field throughout the day. Here's a powerful technique we use in our advanced workshops. End your day by reviewing any signs or synchronicities you noticed. Write them down, even the small ones. This trains your brain to become more aware of these messages and increases your confidence in the process. Remember, what you appreciate appreciates. Here's where most people get stuck in their manifestation process. They can't let go. They set their intention, do the meditations, elevate their energy, but then they strangle their dreams with anxiety and control. It's like planting a seed and then digging it up every day to see if it's growing. You have to understand, surrender isn't giving up. It's trusting in the intelligence of the quantum field. Think about your heartbeat for a moment. Are you controlling it? Are you telling your cells how to metabolize nutrients? Are you consciously directing your body to heal a paper cut? There's a much greater intelligence than your conscious mind taking care of all that. That same intelligence knows the perfect moment for your dreams to manifest. In our advanced workshops, we've seen something remarkable. The students who manifest the most extraordinary synchronicities aren't the ones who are trying the hardest. They're the ones who've mastered what I call relaxed readiness. They maintain their elevated state, do their practices, but aren't attached to how or when their desires will manifest. This is where preemptive gratitude becomes your most powerful tool. When you can feel genuine gratitude for something before it arrives in your physical reality, you're operating at the highest level of creation. You're not trying to use gratitude to get something. You're grateful because it's already yours in the quantum field. Let me share a profound truth. Your desires are already fulfilled in the quantum field the moment you have the desire. They are created. Your job isn't to make them happen. Your job is to match their frequency and allow them to find you in divine timing. This isn't spiritual bypassing, it's quantum physics. In the quantum field, everything already exists as a wave of probability. Your intention, your trust, your gratitude, these are the frequencies that collapse those waves into particles, transforming possibilities into physical reality. When your manifestation is approaching physical reality, your body knows it before your conscious mind does. You might feel goosebumps during meditation, experience sudden waves of excitement for no apparent reason, or notice your heart racing unexpectedly when you think about your future. These aren't random sensations, they're your body responding to quantum possibilities, collapsing into physical form. Observe the changes in your emotional landscape. You'll start to feel an inexplicable sense of certainty, not the desperate certainty of wanting something to happen, but a calm knowing that everything is unfolding perfectly. You might feel at peace with things that used to worry you. You might notice a natural detachment from outcomes while maintaining your elevated state. It's your environment starting to speak to you through synchronicities. You'll notice numerical patterns appearing everywhere. Songs related to your desire, playing at perfect moments. People randomly mentioning topics related to your future. Your dreams might become more vivid, more specific. You might start dreaming about places you've never been, people you've never met. But somehow these dreams feel more real than your waking life. These aren't coincidences or your mind playing tricks on you. Remember, in the quantum field, the future is pulling you toward it. When you've done the work to elevate your energy and maintain that elevated state, when you've practiced being the person you're becoming rather than who you've been, the universe has no choice but to reorganize itself to match your new frequency. The universe is sending you messages right now. Your future is reaching back through time and space to guide you. But receiving these messages isn't a passive process. It requires daily, devoted practice. Right now, make a commitment to yourself. Commit to your morning meditation practice, not just when it's convenient, not just when you feel like it, but every single day. Start each morning with 20 minutes of heart-centered meditation. Follow that with your gratitude journaling, 3 full pages about the future you're living in. Throughout the day, set those hourly reminders to check your energy. Ask yourself, am I being my future self or my past self? Keep your manifestation journal nearby. Write down every sign, every synchronicity, every unexpected message. At the end of each day, review your entries and ask yourself these 3 questions. What signs did I notice today? What emotions did I maintain? What actions did my future self guide me to take? Remember, you're not just trying to receive a message, you're becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts these quantum possibilities into physical form. You're training your brain to recognize opportunities, your body to resonate with elevated emotions, and your consciousness to collapse quantum waves into physical reality. The message you're waiting for is already in the quantum field. The opportunity you're seeking is already on its way to meet you. Your only job is to maintain the frequency that allows that connection to happen. Stay unwavering in your practice, in your commitment, and absolutely certain that the universe is conspiring to bring you everything you need, exactly when you need it. Now you understand. The universe has always been trying to communicate with you. The opportunities, the signs, the answers you're looking for, they already exist. But your mind needs to be tuned to receive them. Joe Dispenza teaches us that when we change our energy, we change the reality around us. And now the question remains, are you ready to reprogram your mind and access all the potential that's already available to you? Remember, it all starts with a single step: daily practice, clear intention, and elevated emotion, the keys to unlocking the doors of the quantum field. If this video made sense to you, don't keep this knowledge to yourself. Share it with someone who needs to hear this message. If you liked it, subscribe and hit the notification bell because we've got so much more to explore together. Now, put this into practice. The universe is already waiting for your response. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.